दादा श्याम साधु वासवानी सेंटर चेन्नई जे पारां तव्हां सभिनि जो हिकु दफ़ो वरी हार्दिक स्वागत आहे। अचो त अॼु जो सत्संग शुरू था कयूं श्रीमद् भगवत गीता जे 12 अध्याय सां, जंहिंखां पोइ आरती ऐं वचन थींदा।
श्रीमद् भगवत गीता अध्याय 12 श्लोक 13। श्रीमद् भगवत गीता अध्याय 12 श्लोक 13। वेर भाव खां जो रहे थो परे, ऐं सभिनी जो मित्र। अभिमान ममता बिना खिम्यावान, दयालु रहे जो सदा संतोषी। ऐं सुख में ऐं दुख में आहे जो समान, यतन में रतन जो रहे थो पके निश्चय वारो। मन बुद्धि मुँह में जो अर्पण करे, सोई भक्त मुझो प्यारो, सोई भक्त मुझो प्यारो। जिजे की न कहीं खान कहीं खेज जारे, ऐं चिंता खुशी का न्यारो। हसद नाहि जंहिंखे न की क्रोध को, सोई भक्त मुझो प्यारो, सोई भक्त मुझो प्यारो। इच्छा रहित जो पवित्र चतुर जो, ऐं चिंता बिना जो करे थो सुधारो। फल जी इच्छा सब पिछी जो करे, सोई भक्त मुझो प्यारो, सोई भक्त मुझो प्यारो। बिना हर्ष ऐं द्वेष, त्यागे थो जो भलो ऐं बुरो। चिंता रहित जो न उमेदूं अॾे, सोई भक्त मुझो प्यारो, सोई भक्त मुझो प्यारो। शत्रु मित्र ऐं मान अपमान, थधि गर्मी ऐं सुख दुख सभिनी में समाभाव रखे थो। रहे राज़ी सब ते, निंदा स्तुतिअ में साॻी रीत हले थो। धन ज़र मिल्कियत बिना, ऐं शांति को अस्थिर चित्त वारो। सब्र में रहे जो, सोई भक्त मुझो प्यारो, सब्र में रहे जो, सोई भक्त मुझो प्यारो। अमृत रूपी ज्ञान अमल में जो आने, सची अश्रद्धा वारो। वछे शरण मुझी, सोई भक्त मुझो प्यारो, सोई भक्त मुझो प्यारो। अमृत रूपी ज्ञान अमल में जो आने, सची अश्रद्धा वारो। वछे शरण मुझी, सोई भक्त मुझो प्यारो, सोई भक्त मुझो प्यारो। ओम तत्सत। ये श्रीमद् भगवत गीता उपनिषद ब्रह्म विद्या योग शास्त्र जो, श्री कृष्ण संवाद जो भक्ति योग वारो 12 अध्याय पूरो थियो।
जय दाता जय हो, जय दाता जय हो। बैठत मैं मांगाऊं,
चरण कमल में सिर निवाऊं। उठत बैठत मैं मांगाऊं।
माता, तू भगवंत आनंद दाता।
तू ही पिता तू मेरी माता, तू भगवंत आनंद दाता।
सत्य स्वरूप तू मेरे स्वामी, तू सर्वज्ञ अंतर्यामी।
सत्य स्वरूप तू मेरे स्वामी, तू सर्वाज्ञ अंतर्यामी।
जय दादा जय ओ जय दादा जय ओ।
जय दादा जय ओ जय दादा जय ओ।
ज्ञान और ध्यान तो मेरी युक्ति, तेरे चरणों में मेरी मुक्ति।
ज्ञान और ज्ञान तू मेरी युक्ति, तेरे चरणों में मेरी मुक्ति।
तेरे दर पर मांगे धूल, दासे अंजलि कीजे कबूल।
तेरे दर पर मांगे धूल, दासी अंजलि कीजे कबूल।
जय दादा जय ओ जय दादा जय ओ।
जय दादा जय ओ जय दादा
जय ओ जय दादा जय ओ जय दादा जय ओ।
दादा श्याम अंजलि संग्रह जो वचन सुफ़ो 840 दर्शन दीदार। परेखा परेखा आयस तो वट प्यारा, कमल मुख रोशन मिलियो दर्शन दीदारा। खिन में आखिन में थी दिलरी बहार, पसी सूरत तुंहिंजी नीह निहार। तुंहिंजन अखरन अखरियूं केॾो न प्यार, सहा से दिलुनि जो आहीं तूं त दिलदार। त्याग तपस्या जी तस्वीर आई, सुकृत जा कम करी पियो सदाई। नूरीअ जे दिल जो आहीं तूं प्यारो, अंजलिअ जो आधार ऊंदाए में तारो। नूरीअ जे दिल जो आहीं तूं प्यारो, अंजलिअ जो आधार ऊंदाए में तारो। दादा श्याम
असांजे प्यारे भाउ आशीष थदानी खे केरु न सुञाणे। ही प्यारो जकार्ता में रहंदो आहे ऐं अॼु जो असांजो भजन सेशन ही प्यारो अॻिते वधाईंदो। अचो त आशीष जा गीत ॿुधूं।
दादा श्याम गुरुदेव मेरा है आधार, उन बिन जीवन है दुश्वार। गुरुदेव मेरा है आधार, गुरुदेव मेरा है आधार, उन बिन जीवन है दुश्वार। गुरुदेव मेरा है आधार, उन बिन जीवन है दुश्वार। गुरु चरणन मेरी जीवन नैया, गुरु चरणन मेरी जीवन नैया। सब कुछ उनको है अर्पण किया, गुरुदेव मेरा है आधार, उन बिन जीवन है दुश्वार। गुरुदेव मेरी जीवन ज्योत, गुरुदेव मेरी जीवन ज्योत। गुरुदेव मेरा एक ही दोस्त, बिन गुरुदेव सब अंधकार, बिन गुरुदेव सब अंधकार। गुरु बिन कौन लगाए पार, गुरु बिन कौन लगाए पार। गुरुदेव मेरा है आधार, उन बिन जीवन है दुश्वार। गुरु ही एक उम्मीद सहारा, गुरु को अर्पण जीवन सारा। गुरु ही एक उम्मीद सहारा, गुरु को अर्पण जीवन सारा। गुरु की मैं दासी दीवानी, गुरु की मैं दासी दीवानी। जैसी तैसी अंजलि तुम्हारी, जैसी तैसी अंजलि तुम्हारी। गुरुदेव मेरा है आधार, उन बिन जीवन है दुश्वार। गुरुदेव मेरा है आधार, उन बिन जीवन है दुश्वार। ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव, 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 ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव।
Dada Sham, a very beautiful bhajan. कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा, प्रेम बिना ना पुष्प को दूजा।
ना कोई पोथी ना पुस्तक जानो, ना कोई पोथी ना पुस्तक जानो, प्रेम बिना ना को ग्रंथ पछानो, प्रेम बिना ना को ग्रंथ पछानो। कैसे करूं है, कैसे करूं, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा। कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा। प्रेम बिना ना पुष्प को दूजा, प्रेम बिना ना पुष्प को दूजा। कैसे करूं हाय, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा। ना कोई पोथी ना पुस्तक जानो, ना कोई पोथी ना पुस्तक जानो, प्रेम बिना ना को ग्रंथ पछानो, प्रेम बिना ना को ग्रंथ पछानो। कैसे करूं है, कैसे करूं, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा। ना कोई बाजा ना कोई सितारा, ना कोई बाजा ना कोई सितारा। एक तेरे तलब में तन का तंबूरा, एक तेरे तलब में तन का तंबूरा। कैसे करूं है, कैसे करूं, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा। वास न कोई न कोई धूपा, वास न कोई न कोई धूपा। ध्यान धरो एक रूप अनूपा, ध्यान धरो एक रूप अनूपा। कैसे करूं हाय, कैसे करूं हाय, कैसे करूं, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा। नूरी ने माणी ना कोई बीना, नूरी ने माणी ना कोई बीना। दरवेशा दर की राखूं रीना, दरवेशा दर की राखूं रीना। दरवेशा दर की राखूं रीना। कैसे करूं हाय, कैसे करूं हाय, कैसे करूं हाय, कैसे करूं, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा। कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा। प्रेम बिना ना पुष्प को दूजा, प्रेम बिना ना पुष्प को दूजा। कैसे करूं हाय, कैसे करूं, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा, कैसे करूं कन्हैया तेरी पूजा।
Dada Sham, this is a small offering, a very beautiful bhajan, To Vaste, from Singapore Center.
ये दिल तक रूहानी तक, ये दिल तक रूहानी तक, तो वास्ते तो वास्ते तो वास्ते तो वास्ते, ये दिल तक रूहानी तक, ये दिल तक रूहानी तक, तो वास्ते तो वास्ते। हीरी है जो सब कम का, ही रात जो इश्क आज़ाद, हीरी है जो सब कम का, ही रात जो इश्क आज़ाद, तो वास्ते तो वास्ते तो वास्ते तो वास्ते, ये दिल तक रूहानी तक, ये दिल तक रूहानी तक, तो वास्ते तो वास्ते। नीह नेड़न मां वहे जो आ, ही भगल दिल जो रबा, नीह नेड़न मां वहे जो आ, ही भगल दिल जो रबा, तो वास्ते तो वास्ते तो वास्ते तो वास्ते तो वास्ते तो वास्ते, ये दिल तक रूहानी तक, ये दिल तक रूहानी तक, तो वास्ते तो वास्ते। शब रोज इंतजारी, दुख दर्द मुखे आहे प्यारी, आ, 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 शब रोज इंतजारी, दुख दर्द मुखे आहे प्यारी, तो वास्ते तो वास्ते तो वास्ते तो वास्ते, ये दिल तक रूहानी तक, ये दिल तक रूहानी तक तो वास्ते तो वास्ते नूरी निमाणी करे कुर्बान प्यास में ही प्राण प्राण नूरी निमाणी करे कुर्बान प्यास में ही प्राण प्राण दो वास्ते दो वास्ते दो वास्ते दो वास्ते ये दिल तक रूहानी तक ये दिल तक रूहानी तक दो वास्ते दो वास्ते दो वास्ते दो वास्ते ये दिल तक रूहानी तक ही दिल तक रूहानी तक दो वास्ते 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 दो वास्ते
Be it Pune, Jakarta, or Singapore. Ashish, you have such a beautiful voice and such a different way of singing these beautiful bhajans. A mother, no matter how many children she has, knows exactly what each one of her child needs. And at any given moment, she takes care of the child's individual needs. And that's exactly what Dada did with us. His love, pure and unconditional, as a mother's love. His glance, his gaze into our eyes, the soul-penetrating look, as I say. Be it his touch, his embrace, his words, his smile, everything he did healed us at different levels, at different times. I feel very fortunate that I get to know more and more about Dada each time. Someone recently said to me, she said, Kiran, you know Dada from your time. Now you get to know Dada from before your time, which is very true. Today we have a wonderful couple joining us from the UK, Mr. Anil and Mrs. Pushpa Shivdasani. A very warm-hearted welcome to both of you. Dada Sham.
Dada Sham, Kiran, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. It's always nice to get to know Dada a little bit more each time. And I'm fascinated by how each person has met him, because it's a very individual experience. And it's always fascinating for me. So please tell us, how did both of you meet Dada? I know each one of you had a slightly different introduction to him. So, Bhav, maybe you want to start?
I had the privilege and honor. First of all, I must say thank you to all of you for inviting us to this beautiful program. It's an honor to be speaking to all of you around the globe, and we're very happy to do so. But before we met Dada Jashan, we had the privilege of meeting Sadhu Vaswani. That was one small opportunity that I had, and I obviously did not know him at the time because I did not have, we were not based in Pune or Bombay. I was studying in Darjeeling, and after finishing my schooling, I came to Bombay to do my university. And I was lucky enough to go to Pune in the year 1966.
Wow.
65, I'm sorry to say, 1965, and I met with Sadhu Vaswani. And then
Wow.
after that, I was honored to meet Dada Jashan in 1966.
Okay.
Yeah. So 1966, just imagine, I was with my auntie, and she took me to meet him. And we were sitting, the three of us were sitting, and we obtained his blessings. And he wrote me a small note at that time. And I've got that note, which is framed. And I'd like to read that note to you, if you
Yes,
don't mind.
please. No, please. We'd love to hear what he said to you way back then.
It's here. Dear Anil, may your examination be richly blessed by him who alone doth bless. There is another examination which each of us must pass. It is the examination of the University of Life. We are being examined every day, at every step, in every round. And if we would pass this examination, we must take note of three things. Number one, always speak the truth. Number two, never yield to anger. Number three, share what we have with the poor and needy. Signed, J.P. Vaswani, on 1st November 1966.
Wow.
After this incident, in 1967, I moved to England to continue my education in this country. And between 1967 and 1984, there was no contact whatsoever between myself and Dada Jashan.
That's a very long gap.
Yes.
A very, very long gap.
Dada Jashan happened to come to UK on his inaugural visit in 1984, and that's where we continued the story.
But did you feel like you've met an old friend or a long lost friend, if I may? Or was it like, oh, you're meeting him for the first time?
No, it was because it was an absence of what, 20 odd years.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as if I'd made any friendship with him, but it was really nice to meet him because I used to hear a lot about him during my stay in London.
Okay.
The satsangs and the annual ceremonies that we had reminded me of my meeting with him at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know my father-in-law, when he first met Dada, and the way they spoke was like old friends had met after eternity. It was there was a connection, and my father-in-law had never met Dada. But somehow his first meeting, or like even when he heard Dada, he fell in love with Dada right away. And when Dada came and stayed with us for the very first time, it was like two old friends had met. And I was amazed because I was from Pune, but my father-in-law was from Delhi and he didn't know anything about Dada. So I was wondering, if maybe that's, I know he has that impact on people. Dada's had that effect on people. But Didi, how about you? When did you meet Dada, and what was your moment? Like many people say, in a particular moment, I was his, or I was Mavikam Jivyas, like that kind of a feeling.
Yes, he was with us in UK for nearly 3 weeks. And we met out of 21 days, we met on 20 days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it was really fantastic meeting him, getting to know of him, and understanding how he carried on through life, right? For example, I was very, very surprised when somebody touched his feet, turned around and touched their feet.
Yes.
And that was something that really knocked me out, because I didn't know that sort of humility. And I didn't know that he possessed that sort of humility.
Yes. That is true.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kiran, you were asking me. I also, with God's grace, had the opportunity to be blessed by Sadhu Vaswani in 1965. 1985, I think about the same time. And it was my aunt who took me there. And in those days, all that didn't make any sense. I held my pen
Yes.
and I said, Dada, I've got exam. He blessed me and I trotted off. But subsequently, Dada Jashan used to be my uncle's scoutmaster.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Dada used to come to my aunt's house quite regularly.
Huh.
Whenever I saw her, she'd be overwhelmed. She'd have tears pouring down her eyes. And I used to chide her. I said, Didi, he's a human being. What's wrong with you? How can you be crying over somebody like this?
Wow. Okay.
Little did I know what was going to unfold in my life. Because in 84, when Dada came, as Anil said, the whole spark was rekindled. And those 21 days were sheer bliss. We attended as many satsangs as we could. And we only didn't go one day. And I think we had about half a dozen phone calls in the evening telling us Dada was asking about you.
Really?
I thought to myself, who are we? How much does Dada know us?
Yes.
And I remember in those days, I was always curious. I wanted to know more. And here was an opportunity. And everybody would just push me to the front of the satsang group and say, sit down here and ask Dada the questions. Just sit here and ask him. And from day one, I was very comfortable doing that.
Yes.
So it was really, really lovely. And then one day Anil said to me, we moved to a new home in London. And my father said, you must do a havan. And Anil said, I'm not going to do the havan till I know what it really means. And today when you speak to Dada, you ask him, what is the meaning of the havan? And Dada explained it in all simplicity as always. So I said to Anil, are you satisfied now? Can we have the havan? And he said, I want Dada to come and do the havan. And I said, this is asking for too much. Who do I reach out to? What do I do? Dada has such a full schedule.
Yeah.
But then, of course, I reached out. I went to Nirmala Jotwani, I remember. I went to the hostess. There was Auntie Janki Surtani and a whole group of people who were there at that time. And I said, please make this possible. And they said, it's going to be a very last minute thing. Yes, we'll ask Dada. And I said, but I have to keep everything prepared. Unfortunately, I had some very dear friends who said, don't worry. We'll look after it this end. Even if you get a last minute go, let us know. And one afternoon, yes, Dada will come and do the havan in your house. Oh, goodness me. It was like the ground slipping under our feet. And Anil and I, we drove him to our home. He did the havan. He walked around every area of the house. And they said, he's not going to eat. He's not going to drink anything. But no, he blessed the water. He drank the water. And a friend of mine had made this Bengali sweet, sandesh. He had a piece of that. And, it was just absolutely beautiful.
He always knew how to blow us away and get to us in the most unexpected ways and at the most unexpected time.
Yeah. And the havan ceremony was so simple.
Yeah.
All these Sanskrit mantras that we never understood and that we used to get distracted with, and okay, so-and-so is having a havan. But this was so down to earth, so simple, so easy to understand. And it was one of the most beautiful blessings Dada bestowed on us. And then when it was time for him to go, I sat there crying uncontrollably. I was just beside myself. And that was it. And then we went in the following November of 84. I took both the children there. My older son was 6, my younger one was 4. Just to experience the atmosphere there, walked through the Rath Yatra. It was my son's birthday on the 24th of November. The usual, Dada cut his cake. And, and then that was it. Then there was a lapse of another 4 years. In 1988, Dada visited the UK. And I think he had gone to Oxford, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. But when he came to London, he was invited to do a havan ceremony you must have heard of Raj Bhojwani.
Yes, yes.
In St. John's Wood, they had a new flat at Regent's Park Road. And we went there. And after the satsang got over, we were queuing up and to take Dada's blessings. And when I reached him, he looked at me. He said, Pushpa, tu aayi kithe? I was bewildered. I just did not know what to do. I went down on my knees. Sorry, I just had my head on Dada's lap. And I cried. There were lots of people standing behind me. I was blissfully oblivious of everything. He put his hand on my head. He said, I heard about your father-in-law's passing when I was at Singapore airport. I prayed for his soul. He's in a better place. And it just shook me that this is the moment that I knew my Guru had found me and I found him.
Yeah.
So that was the turning point in my life.
He just had, I don't know how to describe what he did for us all. For each one, he came to us and he just did exactly what each one of us needed. I mean, he just knew it. And he simplified life to such an extent that you suddenly realize, like, wait, all these years I grew up thinking, oh my God, I have to do this and this and this to get close to God or to know who God is. And suddenly he comes and he says, God is here, God is now. You're like, wait, what? Really? I don't need all of those fasting and those pujas and those mantras and all of that stuff. And suddenly God is your best friend. And I'm like, wow, amazing.
He said rituals and rites are not needed.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole meeting had such a profound impact on my life.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I felt now I had a purpose.
Yeah. He also, I know of several people who've had this healing without even having to put his hand on us. And he performed miracles.
He did.
Never showing that he could do it.
He did.
Sitting with us at the table, in the same car, right next to the driver and not in the back like royalty.
Yeah.
And it seemed like, oh, he's just one of us.
Absolutely.
And suddenly you go to Pune and you're like, whoa, people are like, Dada, Dada, Dada. And you suddenly realize, like, I never realized who's with me. And I from our conversation the other day, I know that there was some healing done for Bhau also without Dada physically even putting his hand on Bhau's head at that moment. So could you please share that with us?
No vegetarianism.
Yeah, vegetarianism.
One year I visited Pune.
How?
Pushu was not with me on that trip to India. But I happened to go to Pune just after Sadhu Vaswani's birth anniversary. This is, I think, in 1992. So, the functions had been completed, and I went to visit Dada, and he was kind enough to welcome me. And I went and sat, and we had a little chat, and the ceremonies had been completed, just a few days earlier.
Sadhu
Vaswani's death anniversary, birth anniversary ceremonies had been completed.
Right.
And I thought to myself that, here we are. We don't make any sacrifices. We don't give anything back to Dada. But we should do something that will make us worthy of him. So I said, what is it that I can do?
Right.
That I can give? So I thought, and at that spur of the moment, I told Dada that I would like to become vegetarian.
Yes.
So, as usual, Dada put his hand on my head. And says, why don't you do that? We've just completed Sadhu Vaswani's birthday, which is considered to be annual meatless day around the globe. So he said that would be perfect. Why don't you do that? And I decided at that time that I would not consume food of violence.
Wow.
And that was done. And when I got home, maybe a week or so later, I got back to London. I told Pushu, I said, listen, I don't know about you, but I'm vegetarian.
Okay.
I actually started, it took me a long time, I must admit. Those 21 days that Dada was here in 84, every evening when we would be driving home, I would tell Anil, I'm going to give up. I'm going to become a vegetarian. I'm going to become a vegetarian. But it took me a long time. I'd stop eating and then I'd stop cooking for the family.
Right.
One thing at a time, one thing at a time. Till finally, also in 1992, shortly before Anil had given up, I gave up.
Oh, how nice.
Then when we moved to Dubai, I
Right.
said to my children, I said, look, we've got a brand new flat, a brand new kitchen. Is it okay with you if I don't cook any non-vegetarian food at home?
Mm.
And I think it was Dada's grace that the kids were so cooperative. I mean, I did not really impose my feelings with them, but
Right.
slowly and gradually, I could see that they said, Mom, we're not ordering any food from outside. We've got used to what you're making at home. So it was gradual. And yes, but since 92, Anil and I have been vegetarians.
And that's really good. But Bhau, I remember there's something else you gave up. If you want to talk
Sorry.
about that,
Something else you gave up that you talked about.
Yeah.
if you
That's
don't
something
mind.
That was, I think, I don't know which one was more important, but I thought they were both equally important.
Yes. Yes.
I was a very, very heavy smoker.
Mm.
And, I tried once before, in earnest with Dada. But that time, I don't think I was that serious, right?
Okay.
But this particular instance, Dada had returned from Cape Town. He had gone to the festival. He had gone to the. He had gone for a function in Cape Town.
There.
It was a conference, and he was coming to London, and from London he was going to India. So this
Okay.
was December 1999.
Huh.
And I thought to myself, I was a very, very heavy smoker. I was smoking anything between 40 and 60 cigarettes a day.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that was some serious, serious smoking.
Yes. Very.
And I thought to myself that I've got to do something about it. But I did not have the willpower.
Huh.
I just did not have the willpower. So I said, I've got to go to Dada and ask him to bless me.
Yes.
So that I can give it up. And he was on his way to the airport.
Huh.
And he was actually sat in the car
Huh.
to be chauffeured to the airport. And I went to him and I said, listen, Dada, I need another favor of you.
Yeah.
And it was done in a very nonchalant, friendly way, right? So he says, what is it that you want me to do? So I said, Dada, I would like to give up smoking.
Huh.
So he said, yes, do give it up, because it doesn't do anything to you. So he put his hand on my head and he says, give it up. And from that day in December 1999 till today, I haven't had a cigarette.
Wow. And did you have any issues giving it up? That was the fascinating part for me.
No. There were no withdrawal symptoms. I was afraid. I thought, my God,
Yes.
there's going to be bad tempers. There's going to be mood swings. But there was nothing. There was nothing. No chewing gum, no irritation, no withdrawal symptoms. The only thing he said to me, please don't give me coffee, because that gives me the urge.
Okay.
And there was nothing. I think it was Dada's divine intervention and nothing else that happened.
I agree with you, because I have never heard of people, especially someone who smokes that many cigarettes in a day, just give it up cold turkey and not feel the withdrawal from it. That's a lot of cigarettes in a day. 40 to 60 of them, that's a lot of cigarettes in a day.
Dada's miracle.
Yes. And if you don't mind me bringing it up, you had mentioned the surgery, which these are things that always amaze me.
Yeah. Anil was due to go in for a surgery. The biopsy was taken. He had like an Adam's apple over here.
Huh.
The doctor had told him to come back, whenever the date was fixed for his surgery. And I went to India because I used to go and meet my dad. So I made a trip to Pune, and I, went to meet Dada, took his blessings, and I told him, I said, Dada, Anil is due for surgery. And he just looked at me. He said, is the surgery necessary? I said, Dada, this is what we've been told. He said, okay. That was it. I said, Dada, give him your blessings. He said, okay. When we came back and the date of surgery happened, or he had to go and see the consultant whatever.
Right.
And when he was examined, the consultant said it's not necessary. The surgery needn't happen. But I have something else to share with you, which was only about 9 months ago.
Okay.
And I suddenly fell ill and had to be rushed to hospital.
Okay.
Didn't know what was happening. I was alone over here.
Huh.
I straight away reached out to Didi Krishna. She sent me a message, absolutely assuring me everything will be fine. Satnam kar mushkil ehsan. I informed my children who are abroad. Yeah. And the only person here I reached out to was Dr. Haresh Vadhwani, because we had a room satsang every Saturday.
Right.
On Thursday night. So on Friday, I called him. I said, Haresh, I wanted him to reschedule the program. I said, I will not join. He said, why? What's happened? So I told him. So he said, I must reach out to the committee because we are all going to be together and pray for him. Anyway, I was alone, but I don't know. It was Dada with me, giving me the strength. I knew Didi was there who had sent me this message. I just was normal. I didn't want to reach out to the family because I knew everybody is going to panic. And I would have been inundated with phone calls and love and thoughts and everything. But I said no. In the evening, while I was doing my aarti, there's somebody there in Pune who came to me really in the guise of an angel and said, Auntie, I'm going to make a video call within 5 minutes. And I said, what's happening here? And the next I knew was I was on a video call in Dada's kutia. He said, Auntie, offer your prayers here.
Oh, wow.
There I was, I felt in the kutia, as if Dada telling me, I'm here with you. And I always remember those 8 magic words, which I keep telling people. Dada said, I'm not alone, God is with you. And everybody said, what did you do? How did you handle this? I said, I wasn't alone. Dada's with me.
Yes. He is very much indeed with us. Every step of the way, that like he was when he was in his physical form.
Yes.
And I wish we had more time to listen to more of your experiences and more of those wonderful encounters with Dada. But time keeps traveling really fast. And I would like to take a moment to say thank you very much for joining us and sharing these moments with us. Every time we hear some of these stories and experiences, it's like we're reliving every moment together. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. And thank you that now we have Didi Krishna at the helm.
Yes.
And we know we will continue to be safe and secure and loved with her blessings.
Very much indeed.
Thank you for your time. Thank you, Dada Shah.
Thank you, Dada Shah. Dada is love, 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 and only love. His legacy continues with none other than our Didi Krishna. She keeps us comforted. She gives us the love, the compassion, the comfort, everything that we need, just like he has always done for us. And we are very fortunate that Didi is joining us now. Dada Sham, Didi Krishna.
Dada Sham, Kiran. Dada Sham.
It's always wonderful to see you. I can't wait to come in person and see you. But till then, this is great. This is absolutely wonderful.
This is the way I want to meet you when you come. Till then,
Big hug to you. We're very happy that you're here with us, Didi. Very happy.
प्यारी संगत, दादा श्याम, हैरियूं मिठियूं यादगिरियूं असांजे प्यारी पिशू ऐं अनिल ॿुधायूं त मुंहिंजी दिलि केतिरो न भरियल आहे। ऐं मूं पाण खे चयो त अॼु मां अव्हां सां गुरुदेव साधू वासवानी जूं के यादगिरियूं शेयर कयां, जंहिं गुरुदेव जॾहिं मां तमामु नंढी हुअसि मूंखे पंहिंजे छत्र छाया में रखियाऊं। ऐं नेचुरली मुंहिंजी दिलि थींदी हुई त मां वधीक गुरुदेव साधू वासवानी जे बारे में मूंखे ॼाण थिए। कंहिं वटि वञा वरी गुरुदेव प्यारे दादा वटि वेंदी हुअसि ऐं प्यारे दादा खे वेनती कंदी हुअसि, महिरबानी करे मूंखे अव्हीं गुरुदेव साधू वासवानी जे बारे में, संदन लीलाउनि जे बारे में तव्हीं मूंसां ज़िक्र कयो। ऐं प्यारा दादा जीअं भाउ पिशू, जीअं भेण पिशू ऐं अनिल चयो, एवर ओब्लाइजिंग, केतिरियूं न मिठड़ियूं रिहाणियूं प्यारे दादा पंहिंजे गुरुदेव साधू वासवानी जूं मूंसां कयूं। ऐं अॼु मूं चयो उहा हिकु ॻाल्हि मां अव्हां सां शेयर कंदसि। प्यारे दादा मूंखे चयो त गुरुदेव साधू वासवानी केॾा न दौरा हया, केॾनि शहरनि में वियो, वञी भारत जे ऋषियुनि जो पैगाम पहुचायई। पर कीअं वेंदा हुआ? तिन ॾींहंनि में हवाई जहाज़ कीअं न हूंदा हुआ, अक्सर करे ट्रेन में वेंदा हुआ, न फर्स्ट क्लास में, न सेकेंड क्लास में, पर थर्ड क्लास में। जेके भाउर भेनर गुरुदेव साधू वासवानी खे वठण लाइ स्टेशन ते वेंदा हुआ, हू अजब में पइजी वेंदा हुआ त हैरी महान हस्ती असांजे दिलियुनि जा महबूब हू थर्ड क्लास कंपार्टमेंट मां लही रहिया आहिनि ऐं केॾो न कष्ट पंहिंजे शरीर खे ॾेई हू असांजे हित कारण हेॾियूं तकलीफ़ूं वठी रहिया आहिनि। ऐं हू गुरुदेव खां पुछंदा हुआ त गुरुदेव, अव्हीं थर्ड क्लास में छो मुसाफ़िरी करे रहिया आहियो? ऐं गुरुदेव खेनि हमेशह मुश्की चवंदा हुआ, छो? बिकॉज़ देयर इज़ नो फोर्थ क्लास। पोइ प्यारे दादा चयो त अच मां तोखे हिकु गुरुदेव जे यात्रा जे बारे में ॿुधायां। गुरुदेव हिकु लंबी मुसाफ़िरी खई फ्रॉम सिंध टू मद्रास। 3 ॾींहंनि में मद्रास खे मद्रास चयो वेंदो, हींअर तव्हीं चेन्नई कोठींदा आहियो, फ्रॉम सिंध टू मद्रास, पर ट्रेन में। त केतिरियूं ई रातियूं खेनि ट्रेन में गुज़ारनियूं पियूं। ट्रेन वारा त सम्झी विया त ही को अल्लाह लोक, को प्रभु जो प्यारो, को दरवेश असांजे ट्रेन में आहे ऐं असांजो सौभाग्य आहे त असीं के रातियूं हिन संत सां गुज़ारियूं। ऐं जेको बि वझ मिलंदो हो ॾिसंदा हुआ त दादा फ्री वेठा आहिनि त हुन कंपार्टमेंट जा भाउर भेनर टुक पाए वञी दादा जे चरणनि में वेहंदा हुआ ऐं गुरुदेव साधू वासवानी खां केतिरियूं न सिखियाऊं वठंदा हुआ। ऐं कॾहिं त बसि परियां ई वेठा खे निहारींदा हुआ ऐं संदन धाराऊं वेही झपींदा हुआ। हिकु ॾींहुं ही प्यारे दादा गुरुदेव साधू वासवानी खां पुछनि था त हाणे असांजी मुसाफ़िरी पूरी थियण वारी आहे, तव्हीं ॿुधायो तव्हांजो पैगाम कहिड़ो आहे? ऐं गुरुदेव साधू वासवानी मुश्की छा था चवनि, मुंहिंजो पैगाम त अथव सवलो, बिल्कुलु सवलो। मुंहिंजो पैगाम अथव, न विसारियो, न विसारियो, न विसारियो त अव्हीं सभु मुसाफ़िर आहियो। ॾिसो, असीं सभु मुसाफ़िर, केॾा न मुसाफ़िर हिन ट्रेन में कठा थिया आहियूं, पर असां सभिनि खे ख़बर आहे त असीं हिते थोरे वक़्त वास्ते कठा थिया आहियूं। असांजी स्टेशन ईंदी, कंहिंजी पहिरीं स्टेशन ईंदी, कंहिंजी पोइ स्टेशन ईंदी। जीअं स्टेशन ईंदी बसि असीं लही पवंदासीं। असांखे शायदि का यादगिरी बि कान रहंदी त असांजा फेलो पैसेंजर्स केरु हुआ, असां कंहिंसां गॾिजी हेॾा ॾींहं खाधो पीतो। बस हिकु भेरो असांजी स्टेशन आई, असीं उन ख़ुशीअ में हूंदासीं त बस असीं पंहिंजे घर वापसि अची रहिया आहियूं। कंहिंसां मोह न कंदासीं, केरु कुझु असांखे चई ॾींदो उनखे माफ़ करे छॾींदासीं, छो त ख़बर आहे त असीं गॾु सिर्फ़ु थोरे वक़्त लाइ आहियूं। पोइ छाजे वास्ते वेठा ही प्रपंच में पाण खे अटकायूं, छाजे वास्ते वेठा तकरार कयूं, छो न हिक ॿिए जी मदद कयूं। तॾहिं गुरुदेव खिन वधीक छा था चवनि, साॻीअ तरह तव्हीं हिन दुनिया में रहो। ही संसार बि अथव हिकु रेलगाॾी, असीं सभु आहियूं मुसाफ़िर, असीं सभु आहियूं यात्री। थोरे बिल्कुलु थोरे वक़्त वास्ते असीं गॾु थिया आहियूं। हिकु हिकु कुटुंब आहे, हिकु हिकु रेलगाॾो, असीं केतिरा ई कुटुंबवासी अची हिकु गाॾे में गॾु थिया आहियूं। पर थोरे वक़्त वास्ते हिक हिक खे सॾु थींदो, हिक हिक जी स्टेशन ईंदी, उनखे लहिणो पवंदो। पोइ पंहिंजा फ़र्ज़ पालन कयो, हिक ॿिए खे प्यार ॾियो, जेके थोरा ॾींहं आयो गॾु हिक ॿिए जी शेवा कयो, पर मोह में न अरियो। पंहिंजे दिलि अंदरि प्यास रखो। छाजी प्यास? त बसि असीं पंहिंजे निज घर, सचे घर, सचखंड में जल्द वञी पहुचंदासीं। तॾहिं हिकु भाउ प्यारे गुरुदेव साधू वासवानी खां पुछे थो, गुरुदेव छा कयूं जो असांजे दिलनि अंदरि बि उहा प्यास जागे, छा करियूं? तॾहिं गुरुदेव खे मुश्की चवनि था, मूंखां वधीक त तव्हांखे ख़बर आहे त प्यास छा थींदी आहे। तव्हां मां कंहिंखे पैसे पदारत वास्ते एॾी प्यास आहे, शायदि तव्हां मां केतिरा मुसाफ़िरी इन करे करे रहिया आहियो त असीं वधीक पैसा कमायूं। तव्हां मां कंहिंखे प्यास आहे मान शान वास्ते, कंहिंखे प्यास आहे इंद्रिय भोग वास्ते। बसि रुगो उन प्यास जो मोह अव्हांखे मोड़नो आहे। दुनिया मां प्रभुअ ॾे अव्हांखे मोह मोड़नो आहे। रहो दुनिया में, दिल जे अंदरि फ़क़ति तव्हीं उन निज धाम जी, उन निज वतन जी यादगिरी रखो। दिल जे अंदरि रुगो वेठा निहारियो त कॾहिं मां वञी पंहिंजे प्रभुअ सां, जंहिंखां मां विछड़ियल आहियां, उन सां वरी मां वञी मिलंदुसि। पोइ प्यारे दादा खे चयो त साइंसदान हिकु तजुर्बो कयो। हिकु पखी पंहिंजो आखेरो वञी अॾे थो कुतुब मीनार ॾे। कुतुब मीनार तव्हां ॿुधो हूंदो दिल्ली में, उन जे मथां हिकु पखीअ वञी पंहिंजो आखेरो अॾियो। ऐं ही साइंसदान छा था कनि, हिन पखीअ खे हिकु पिंजरे में विझनि था ऐं खेसि 850 मैल परे वञी आज़ादु कनि था। पर ही पखीअरो अलाए किथां, अलाए घणनि ॾींहं खेसि लॻनि था, पर वापसि अची वरी कुतुब मीनार में पंहिंजो आखेरो अॾे थो। वरी प्यारे दादा चइनि, हिकु बुलबुल हुई जंहिं केतिरनि ई बेदनि खे जनमु ॾिनो। ही साइंसदान वरी छा था कनि, बुलबुल खे नथा खणनि, पर बेदनि खे खणी किथ परियां छॾे अचनि था। जॾहिं ही बेदा पखी थियनि था, जस्ट इमेजिन, ही पखी वापसि अची पंहिंजनि माइटनि खे ॻोल्हे लहनि था। हर हिक खे पंहिंजे घर वास्ते, पंहिंजे सचे घर वास्ते, निज वतन वास्ते प्यास थींदी आहे। पोइ गुरुदेव साधू वासवानी खेनि चयो त मां हींअर कॉलेज जो प्रिंसिपल आहियां, जित मूंखे हिकु कुक आहे, हिकु रसोइयो आहे, ऐं मां ॾिसंदो आहियां त ही रसोइयो खाधो रधे पूरो कंदो आहे। खेसि जॾहिं बि फ्री टाइम हूंदो आहे त किचन में, रंधिणे में हिकु दरी आहे, उहा दरी खोले पियो परियां, ॼण त इन फार अवे गेज़ किथे परियां पियो निहारींदो आहे, पियो निहारींदो आहे। हिकु ॾींहुं गुरुदेव हिन रसोईअ खां पुछो, मुंहिंजा प्यारा, तूं वरी वरी दरी खोले केॾां पियो निहारी? ऐं ॿुधो ही रसोइयो गुरुदेव खे कहिड़ो जवाबु ॾिए थो। चवे थो, मालिक, मां अव्हांखे छा ॿुधायां, बसि मां पंहिंजे घर खां, पंहिंजे धर्म पत्नी खां, पंहिंजनि ॿारनि खां विछड़ियल आहियां। जॾहिं वक़्तु मिलंदो अथमि, दरीअ मां पंहिंजे वतन ॾे निहारींदो आहियां ऐं उन्हनि खे पंहिंजा प्यार जूं वाइब्रेशन्स मोकिलींदो आहियां। बसि पोइ वरी अची पंहिंजे कम खे लॻंदो आहियां। ॾिसो, ही कुक जेतोणीक खेसि पंहिंजो फर्ज़ पालन करणो हो, पर संदसि ध्यानु हो पंहिंजे घर में, पंहिंजे धर्म पत्नी ॾांहुं ऐं पंहिंजे ॿारनि ॾांहुं। तॾहिं वरी हिकु ॿियो भाउ पुछे थो प्यारे दादा खां, गुरुदेव साधू वासवानी खां, गुरुदेव, असांखे ख़बर आहे त असीं हिते आया आहियूं ख़ासि कर्तव्य वास्ते, असांखे ख़बर आहे त असीं हिते आया आहियूं थोरे वक़्त वास्ते, बसि अलाए कॾहिं घिंड वॼंदो, कॾहिं स्टेशन ईंदी, असांखे लहणो पवंदो, पर तॾहिं बि वेसर अहिड़ी थी असांजे मथां अची करके जो असीं सभु कुझु विसारे वेहूं था ऐं मोह में अर्जी था वञूं। हिकु वार मोह में अर्जी वियासीं त पोइ हिन चकर में, दुख ऐं सुख जे चकर में असीं पिया पीसजूं, पिया पीसजूं, पिया पीसजूं। ऐं गुरुदेव कहिड़ो जवाबु ॾिनो? गुरुदेव जवाबु ॾिनो, छो त असीं बांदरियुनि जो खेल ॾिसण में अर्जी था वञूं ऐं असीं पंहिंजो सचो मक़सदु विसारे छॾियूं था। ऐं पोइ गुरुदेव खे पंहिंजे जीवन मां हिकु तमामु प्रैक्टिकल एग्ज़ाम्पल ॾिनो। गुरुदेव चयो, मूंखे रोज़ पंधु करणु वणंदो आहे, मां रोज़ चाहींदो आहियां त मां घटि में घटि कलाकु पंधु कयां। कॾहिं कॾहिं त ऊंचियूं टकरियूं मां चढ़ी वेंदो आहियां ऐं उन्हनि टकरियुनि ते वञी वेहंदो आहियां, वेही पंहिंजे प्रभुअ सां गुफ़्तगू कंदो आहियां। हिकु ॾींहुं मूंखे घर मां पाणी पीअणु विसरी वियो ऐं मां पंध लाइ निकिरी चुकुसि। जॾहिं टकरीअ ते पहुतुसि, मूंखे बेहद उञ अची लॻी, प्यास अची लॻी। मूंसां थोरा नौजवान हुआ, छो त गुरुदेव कॉलेज जो प्रिंसिपल हुआ। त हिन नौजवाननि मां हिकु नौजवान गुरुदेव खे चयो, गुरुदेव, तव्हांखे प्यास लॻी आहे, बसि मूंखे थोरो वक़्तु ॾियो, मां टकरी लही हेठि वञी अव्हांजे लाइ पाणी खणी थो अचां। गुरुदेव चयसि, ठीकु आहे। ही नौजवान वियो, तेसिताईं गुरुदेव टकरीअ ते वेठा हुआ, अखियूं पूरे पंहिंजे मस्तीअ में मग्न हुआ। 15 मिंट गुज़रिया, अधु कलाकु गुज़रियो, कलाकु गुज़रियो। नाउ इट वॉज द टाइम ऑलमोस्ट ऑफ सनसेट। गुरुदेव चयो, ऊंदहि थी वञे, तंहिंखां अॻु छो न असीं टकरी लही अचूं। गुरुदेव ऐं जेके ॿिया थोरा बचियल नौजवान हुआ, उहे टकरी लही हेठि अचनि था। हेठि अचनि था त ॾिसनि था त हिकु मदारी खेल पियो ॾेखारे ऐं उत ॾिसनि था त ही नौजवान बीठो आहे। गुरुदेव वञी हिन नौजवान जे मस्तक ते हथु रखे थो ऐं खेसि चवे थो, प्यारा, मां उञ में वेठो आहियां ऐं तूं किथे हुए? ही नौजवान संदसि कंधु हेठि हो ऐं गुरुदेव खे चए थो, गुरुदेव, बराबरि, बेशक मां अव्हांजे लाइ पाणी भरणु आयुसि, पर मूं रस्ते ते ही मदारीअ जो खेल ॾिठो ऐं मूं चयो 2 मिंट ॾिसां थो ऐं पोइ मां वञी तव्हांजे लाइ पाणी भरे ईंदुसि। पर अलाए छा हो हिन खेल में, मूंखे ख़बर ई कान पई आहे त हेतिरो वक़्तु गुज़री वियो आहे ऐं तव्हीं पाण हेठि लही आया आहियो। कृपा करे अवी मूंखे माफ़ कंदा। तॾहिं गुरुदेव न्यारे हिननि 3 निवासियुनि खे चयो, जेके मुसाफ़िर हुआ, खेनि चयईं, असां मां हिकु हिकु जी हालति इहा आहे, असां मां हिकु हिकु खे को न को खेल छिके रहियो आहे। कंहिंखे काम जो खेल, कंहिंखे पैसे जो खेल, कंहिंखे औदे इक़बाल जो खेल, कंहिंखे इंद्रिय भोग जो खेल, हर कंहिंखे को न को खेल छिके रहियो आहे। ऐं इन करे असांखे उहा प्यास असांजी जेका आहे उहा जागृत नथी थिए। असीं पंहिंजे निज वतन खे विसारे वेहूं था। तॾहिं वरी गुरुदेव खां पुछऊं, गुरुदेव, छा करियूं जो असीं हिन वेसर मां निकिरूं, असीं बि हिन मदारीअ जे खेल में, दुनिया जे खेल में अर्जी न पऊं। ॾिसो, अॼु मां अव्हां सां ॻाल्हाए रही आहियां, मां अव्हां मां केतिरनि खे हिन जिस्मानी अखियुनि सां त ॾिसी की न पई सघां, बट आई नो my thoughts are reaching you. I know my vibrations are reaching you. I know that I am connected with so many of you who are listening to me. तीअं गुरुदेव हिननि खे चयो, भल तई दुनिया जा कम कारियूं कयो, पर पंहिंजे वीचारनि द्वारा हमेशा तव्हीं पंहिंजी तार ॻंढियल रखो प्रभुअ सां। इन करे प्रभुअ सां मिठो नातो जोड़ियो, जेको नातो अव्हांखे वणे, दासीअ जो नातो, तव्हांखे वणे मधुर्य नातो, बिलविड जो नातो, तव्हांखे वणे सखा जो नातो, तव्हांखे वणे वत्साल्य भक्तिअ जो नातो, जेका भक्ति यशोदा खे हुई भगवान श्री कृष्ण वास्ते। हूअ त भगवान श्री कृष्ण खे पंहिंजो ॿार करे उन जी पूॼा कंदी हुई। ऐं पोइ गुरुदेव खेनि हिकु दिलि भिॼाईंदड़ कहाणी ॿुधाई हिकु कृष्ण भक्त जी, ऐं मूं चयो उहा जेकर मां अॼु अव्हां सां शेयर कयां। हिकु कृष्ण भक्त हो, एॾी त भक्ति कयईं जो लोक हुनखे सत करे मञींदा हुआ। हू सॼो वक़्तु श्री कृष्ण जे ध्यान में रहंदो हो। खेसि हिकु श्री कृष्ण जो पुतलो हो। बसि हुन लाइ इहो पुतलो पुतलो की न हो, पर साक्षात श्री कृष्ण पाण हो। उथंदो हो, पहिरीं श्री कृष्ण खे उथारींदो हो, पोइ श्री कृष्ण खे सनानु कराईंदो हो, खेसि खाराईंदो हो। सॼो वक़्तु हुनजो श्री कृष्ण जे ध्यान में गुज़रंदो हो। श्री कृष्ण सां गुफ़्तगू कंदो हो, कमकार कंदो हो। जेका बि जीवन में लायूं चारियूं थींदियूं हुयूं, सभु अची कृष्ण सां उनजो ज़िक्र कंदो हो। मां तकर में ॻाल्हि पूरी थी कयां, ॻाल्हि वॾी आहे छो त वक़्तु गुज़रंदो पियो वञे। हाणे हिकु ॾींहुं हिन संत खे, हिन भक्त खे दिलि थी थिए त मां छो न वञी बनारस में गंगा नदीअ में टुॿी ॾियां। त ही चए थो ठीकु आहे मां हलां थो, पर ही स्टैच्यू उन वक़्तु हिन भक्त सां ॻाल्हाए थो, चवेसि थो छा तूं मूंखे ते अकेलो छॾे वेंदे, पोइ मूंखे सनानु केरु कराईंदो, मूंखे खाधो केरु खाराईंदो, मुंहिंजी निगाह केरु कंदो। ऐं ही जॾहिं ही आवाज़ ॿुधे थो, ही भक्त चवे थो न न मां गंगा स्नानु की न कंदुसि, मां तोसां ई हूंदुसि। साल गुज़री वञनि था, वरी भक्त जे मन में इहा आस उथे थी त मां कॾहिं बि मरी वञा, जेकर बनारस में वञी हिकु दफ़ो गंगा नदीअ में टुॿी ॾियां। वरी ही कृष्ण जेको स्टैच्यू आहे उहो हिन सां ॻाल्हाए थो। ईअं घणेई दफ़ा थिए थो, घणेई दफ़ा ही संत चाहे थो मां बनारस वञा, पर वरी वरी श्री कृष्ण हिन सां ॻाल्हाए थो ऐं खेसि चए थो न तूं मूंखे छॾे न वञ, छॾे न वञ। जीअं मूं अव्हांखे चयो वक़्तु गुज़रंदो वञे थो। हाणे हिन संत जी अंतिम घड़ी अची थी आहे ऐं ही संत पंहिंजा प्राण त्यागे थो। कीअं न भक्त अची कठा थियनि था, केतिरा संत अची कठा थियनि था ऐं चवनि था त असीं सभु गॾिजी हिन भक्त जो अंतिम संस्कार कंदासीं। सभु तयारियूं थी वञनि थियूं ऐं हींअर हिन संत जे शरीर खे जॾहिं बाहि ॾियण वारा आहिनि, ओचितो ई ओचितो हिकु नंढड़ो बालक उत अची प्रगट थिए थो। खेसि पीतांबरी, पीली पीतांबरी पियल आहे, संदसि मुंहं ते अजीब मुश्क आहे, अखियूं पियूं चिमकनि ऐं चवे थो तरसो तरसो बाहि ॾियण खां पहिरीं मूंखे पंहिंजो कमु करणु ॾियो। ही पाण सां गॾु पंहिंजे कुल्हे ते हिकु मोरियो कंहिं जल जो भरे आयो हो ऐं सॼे सभा खे चए थो तरसो। ही मुंहिंजो बाबा हो, मुंहिंजो पिता हो, मुंहिंजी हिन सॼी उमिरि संभाल लधी। ही सभु अजब में पइजी विया, ही त ब्रह्मचारी हो, हिन खे बालक किथां आयो, हिन जी संभाल कीअं लधी। पर हिन बालक में अलाए छा हो, अहिड़ी त कशिश हुई, सभु हिन ॾे पिया निहारीनि। ऐं ही बालक चवेनि थो मुंहिंजे पिता जी दिलि हुई त मां वञी गंगा नदीअ में टुॿी ॾियां, इन करे मां गंगा नदीअ जो पाणी खणी आयो आहियां ऐं मां पाण पंहिंजे हथनि सां पंहिंजे पिता खे गंगा नदीअ में गंगा नदीअ जे पाणी सां सनानु कराईंदुसि। मां तुलसी माला खणी आयो आहियां, मां पंहिंजे पिता खे इहा तुलसी माला पाईंदुसि, खेसि तिल्क ॾींदुसि, जेको मां चंदन जो तिल्क पंहिंजे हथनि सां ठाहे खणी आयो आहियां। पोइ संदसि चरणनि में मां सिर झुकाईंदुसि, संदसि शुकराना मञंदुसि त हिन मुंहिंजी केॾा साल संभाल लधी। पोइ पंहिंजनि हथनि सां मां हिन खे बाहि ॾींदुसि, छो त मां संदसि पुटु आहियां ऐं इहो मुंहिंजो अधिकार आहे। सभु हैरत में हैरान ऐं ही नंढो बालक इहे सभु कार्य करे थो ऐं पोइ हिन खे बाहि ॾिए थो ऐं हू वरी अलूप थी वञे थो। पर सभु सम्झी वञनि था त ही श्री कृष्ण पाण आयो हो, छो त ही त कृष्ण भक्त हो जंहिं पंहिंजी सॼी हयाती श्री कृष्ण जे पूॼा में श्री कृष्ण सां हुन अटूट नातो जोड़ियो हो ऐं श्री कृष्ण उन पुट जो नातो अची हिन सां निभायो। प्यारा भाउरो ऐं भेनरूं, अचो अचो त असीं बि को न को नातो पंहिंजे प्यारे गुरुदेव परम परम प्यारे दादा सां जोड़ियूं। बसि ॿियूं सभु ॻाल्हियूं विसारियूं, पंहिंजा फ़र्ज़ ज़रूरु पालन कयूं, दुनिया में ज़रूरु रहूं, पर बसि वक़्तु ब वक़्तु पंहिंजी तार हुन सां ॻंढियूं। जेको बि वक़्तु मिले थोरो ई वक़्तु वरी वरी हुन ॾे निहारियूं, बसि हुन जे चरणनि में सिर झुकायूं। को बि मसइलो अचे सिधो वञूं गुरुदेव वटि, इहो नातो जोड़ींदा वञूं त पोइ न सिर्फ़ु अंतकाल में पर अंतकाल खां पोइ बि जन्म जन्म में गुरुदेव असां सां गॾु हूंदा। अहिड़ी आसीस मां अव्हां सभिनि खां घुरां थी। दादा शाह।
What a beautiful story, Didi. Such a beautiful story and such lovely incidents from Sadhu Vaswani's life. We are very grateful to you. तई अचो था असांखे एतिरी मिठी मिठी ॻाल्हियूं पंहिंजे मिठड़े दादिल शाह जूं, असांजे मिठे दादा जूं ॿुधायो था। असांजे कृष्ण कन्हैया जी ॻाल्हियूं था ॿुधायो। असां ते बि आसीस कयो कि शल दादल असांखे पंहिंजे वधीक वधीक नज़दीक वधीक वधीक क़रीब रखे ऐं असांजो जॾहिं वक़्तु अचे त पाण अची असांखे वठी वञे। लाइक़ु कोन आहियूं पर हू त मां आहे न, हू त कोन ॾिसंदी कि असां कहिड़ा गुनाह कयासीं, असीं कहिड़ा आहियूं। तॾहिं बि अची असांखे शायदि पंहिंजी भाकुर में पंहिंजी झोलीअ में वठी हले। So
Thank you.
bless us. Thank you, Didi. And please do take care of your health. You're very
Thank
precious to us. Dada
Thank
Shyam. मिठड़े दादा साधु असांजे मिठड़े दादिल शाह साधु वासवानी जी ॻाल्हियूं ॿुधियूंसीं, असांजे मिठे दादा जी ॿुधियूंसीं। अचो त हाणे मिठड़े दादा जी पंहिंजी आवाज़ में हुननि जो वचन, हुननि जो उपदेश ॿुधूं।
हरे कृष्णा दादा श्याम, हरे कृष्णा राम दादा श्याम,
हरे कृष्णा राम दादा श्याम, हरे कृष्णा राम दादा श्याम,
हरे कृष्णा राम दादा श्याम, हरे कृष्णा राम दादा श्याम,
हरे कृष्णा राम दादा श्याम, हरे कृष्णा राम दादा श्याम,
दादा श्याम दादा श्याम दादा श्याम दादा श्याम,
दादा श्याम दादा श्याम दादा श्याम दादा श्याम,
हरे कृष्णा राम दादा श्याम, हरे कृष्णा राम दादा श्याम,
हरे कृष्णा राम दादा श्याम, हरे कृष्णा राम दादा श्याम.
I'm a vegetarian. Many of my friends are non-vegetarian. It gets very hard to convince them not to have non-vegetarian food because they say that if they're killing an animal, we're killing plants to eat them.
We are killing plants, it is perfectly true. But the pain that is caused to the plant when it is killed is infinitesimal compared to the pain which the animal feels when it is killed. The ideal should be to cause as little pain as we can to all beings that are around us. And the pain that is caused to the vegetable when it is killed is more or less zero. But the pain which the animal feels is the same as the pain which I would feel if they killed me. The difference is vast.
But then they say if we don't kill animals, the population will increase and then there'll be imbalance in the ecosystem.
The population there are entities in charge of the population. They will balance it. So you don't have, it is not only the population that will increase. We are purposely increasing the population of animals because we want animals to be killed. There is a science specially for this purpose, increasing the population of the animals, increasing the population of the fishes. Trawlers, they go and catch the fish. But before that, they increase the population of the fishes. But there are entities in charge of this population balance. That they should not worry about that. We can give them a guarantee that they will not come and eat them up. No.
I'm going to talk about my favorite quote. The evil you do remains with you. The good you do returns to you. Just go slightly a little bit into it, Dada, for all the people watching the show.
Whatever good you do is, as I referred to the law of karma, is a seed that I am sowing. Now that seed grows into a tree.
Yes.
It germinates, it grows into a tree. It yields fruit. That fruit will come to you.
Yes.
That fruit may be bitter, that fruit may be sweet.
Yes.
It will come to you. The evil that you do will give you bitter fruit.
Yes.
The good that you do will give you sweet fruit.
Yes.
Therefore, keep on doing as much good as you can, in as many ways as you can, to as many as you can, on as many occasions as you can, at as many places as you can, and as long as you can. Keep on doing good.
Right.
I could, if there were time enough, I could give you a number of stories, incidents taken from life to prove this dictum that the good you do comes back to you one day, but the evil that you do remains with you. Therefore, keep away from evil.
Yes.
Help others. Yes. This is the law of life. A little child asked its mother, "Why are we here?" And the mother said, "My child, we are here to help others." The child was a very intelligent one. Immediately he asked, "What are the others here for?" We don't have to ask that part of the question. We have only to understand that we are here to help others.
Right.
Let us help as many as we can to lift up the load on the rough road of life. My beloved master Sadhu Vaswani, he said to us, did you meet him on the road? Did you leave him with the load? On the road of life, there are so many who go about carrying heavy burdens, heavy loads, and those burdens are not merely physical. There are multi-millionaires who have met me with tears in their eyes. They have said to me, we carry burdens of fear, worry, anxiety on our hearts. Go and lighten the loads of people. The day on which I have not helped someone in need, a sister here, a brother there, an animal here, a bird there, because birds and animals too are our younger brothers and sisters in the one family of creation. Yeah. Creation is one family. In this one family of creation, birds and animals are our younger brothers and sisters. The day on which I have not helped someone in need is a lost day indeed.
Dear Dada, is vegetarianism important to achieve spirituality? Will being vegetarian awaken me to God?
And I can only say that vegetarianism is a help to us when we move on the path. I cannot say that it is very important to achieve spirituality, because there has been many saints who in the past, because this awakening had not come to humanity, but they had attained God. So, but it is a help, because in our language they say, Jaro anna taro man. The state of your mind depends upon the food that you take. Therefore, be very careful to avoid junk food. Not only non-veg food, but also junk food. Take sattvic food if you want to move on the spiritual path.
Dadaji, could you tell us that now that we are setting foot into the 21st century, what is your idea of an ideal person?
My idea of an ideal person does not depend upon the millennium or anything else. The ideal continues to remain the same.
The ideal is a fixed thing. And I do not regard the millennium as something very great. I don't know why people are making so much of it. But every day is a gift of God to us. Every day has the same value. Every day comes to us with a message from God that we should start living a new life, a true life, the life that is life indeed, the life of simplicity and sympathy and service, the life of new awakening, of self-effacement, of self-realization. Therefore, every day to me has the same value. But so far as my idea of the ideal person is concerned, my concept of the ideal person is that of one who clasps God to his heart and whose hands are busy in giving the service of love to all the suffering children of God. That is my idea. Clasp God to your heart. Never forget Him for a single moment. And then go out and serve as many as you can. Continue to do as much good as you can to as many as you can, in as many ways as you can, on as many occasions as you can, and as long as you can. Render the service of love to all the suffering children of God. And never forget that birds and animals too are God's children. Creation is one family. In this one family of creation, birds and animals are man's younger sisters and brothers. It is the duty of every man to give the love of his heart to his younger brothers and sisters. It is the responsibility of every man to save his younger brothers and sisters from the cruel knife of the butcher. Oh, the sin of daily slaughter in our cities. I have cried again and again. And I recall the words of my beloved master and mentor, Sadhu Vaswani. He said, believe me, believe me, believe me, the day is coming when meat eating will be condemned as murder. He also said, I have seen God's image shining in birds and animals. And for me, not to love bird and animal would be not to love the Lord. He was an ideal man. Such ideal men we need in society today.
प्रभु तेरी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है। प्रभु तेरी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है। करते हो तुम प्रभु जी मेरा नाम हो रहा है। करते हो तुम प्रभु जी मेरा नाम हो रहा है। प्रभु तेरी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है। प्रभु तेरी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है। तकलीफ और तंगी में नूर एक तू ही मददगार। उठाए हैं अंजलि के जन्मों के सारे भार। करता नहीं मैं कुछ भी सब काम हो रहा है। करते हो तुम दादा तेरा नाम हो रहा है। दादा तेरी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है। सब काम हो रहा है। सब काम हो रहा है। दादा श्याम।
Asanje Bha Ashish Thadanija Mitha Bhajana. Didi Pushpa and Bhau Anilja personal experiences. Didi Krishna ji Mithi Galyu Mithe Dada Jo Ido Sirno Upadesh. And JK question answer sessions jo rather. And Ta Sabhin Jo Saath. What else can one ask for? Thank you for joining us once again and look forward to seeing you all soon. असांजे नेक्स्ट सत्संग जो फ्लायर स्क्रीन ते आहे. उमेद आहे कि तव्हीं सभु असां सां वरी अची गॾिजंदा. Thank you and Dada Sham.